Good morning. As the markets open this morning, we'll be watching to see if they bounce back from yesterday's plummet. Some grain prices closed limit down Thursday after the Ag Department shocked the market with a much bigger supply of corn. USDA projected corn ending stocks at 846 million bushels, 2 million bushels lower than its estimate last month, but 13% higher than what traders were expecting. Soybean ending stocks at 275 million bushels were 18% higher than traders had been expecting. Let's turn now to Pro Farmer Managing Editor Brian Grady for his insights to the report. Brian.
The biggest surprise came for corn, with December 1 corn stocks coming in well above trade expectations. Even when you factor in a slightly bigger 2011 corn crop estimate, which was a bearish surprise, you still left with around a 200 million bushel shortfall in terms of anticipated use for the first quarter of the 2011-2012 marketing year. And that's really what hammered the market, leading to sharp to limit down losses in the corn futures following the crop reports. On the soybean side of things, really, the bearish number was in the projected carryover number for 2011-2012, which came in around 45 million bushels above the December estimate. Really, a slightly bigger crop and reductions on both the crush and export projections for the marketing year is what led to that increase. I think now the biggest challenge, especially on the corn side of things when we move forward here, is for the market and market bulls to try to defend the price we have and get some traction in here. This really is a potential game changer that opens potentially sharp downside price risk for the corn market. Even if we do see South American crop estimates reduce from what levels that they already are currently at. So that's probably the biggest challenge moving forward. For the editors of Pro Farmer, I'm Brian Grady.
Thanks, Brian. USDA also released its final production figures for 2011. Corn for grain production is estimated at 12.4 billion bushels. That's 1% below 2010. The average yield is 147.2 bushels an acre. That's a half bushel higher than the November estimate, but more than 5 bushels lower than 2010's average yield. USDA also increased the soybean average yield from its November estimate by 0.2 of a bushel to 41.5 bushels. It's still 2 bushels lower than 2010. Soybean production in 2011 totaled just over 3 billion bushels, down 8% from 2010. USDA also lowered last year's wheat production figures. The Ag Department puts all wheat production at 2 billion bushels, down 9%, with the average yield at 43.7 bushels to the acre. In its winter wheat seedings report, USDA pegs the crop at just under 42 million acres, up 3% from last year and 12% higher than 2010 seedings. The Ag Department says more acres were seeded this year due to higher prices and an acreage rebound in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, where dry conditions had limited 2011 planted acres. The winter wheat crop condition at the end of November was rated 52% good to excellent, compared with 47% the previous year. Even though USDA lowered U.S. wheat production figures, there's still a huge supply of wheat globally. The supply and demand report showed global wheat ending stocks at 210 million metric tons. And according to Ohio State University ag economist Matt Roberts, that's a record, and it'll hold wheat prices in check.
Even if weather conditions stay poor for wheat formation and for wheat growth as we move into the spring, we're not going to see a big price response to that, because globally there's simply a lot of wheat out there. Nationally in the United States, there's still also a lot of wheat available. So even if we had lower seedings, we wouldn't have expected a big response. But given this report, it's a very, very bearish situation for wheat.
All cotton production is estimated at 15.7 million bales. That's down 1% from last month and down 13% from 2010. All told, U.S. yields are estimated at 772 pounds per acre, down about 40 pounds from last year. Harvested area clocked in at 9.75 million acres, also down 1% from December and nearly 10% less than last year.
Now then, we have about 8 to 10 million more bales of cotton in the supply chain right now than we did this time last year, and that's a very burdensome size of cotton stocks that are out there. We have replenished all cotton stocks more than we anticipated that we would. At the same time, we had this very reduced crop here in the United States, but internationally we had a big crop. Looking then now at the demand side, well, that ties to the economy as well. Cotton demand has been extremely weak. It's been very poor. And as a consequence of that, the lack of exports, we've had to reduce our estimates for exports. We've reduced our estimates for domestic consumption around the globe. And that will continue to follow us just a little bit longer, though there are some bright spots out there.
Grain sorghum production in 2011 is estimated at 214 million bushels, down 13% from the November 1 forecast and 38% below 2010. Rice production in 2011 is estimated at 185 million, down 2% from the previous forecast and 24% below 2010.